to the 49th episode of the Yarn Junkie podcast. My name is Amber. I'm coming to you from my home in Texas. I was hoping to record outside this week, but it was kind of cold earlier and gray. It's been rainy all week, and you know it's sunny, but I didn't want to have to go in the mud. That was Lucy, my mastiff, that always joins me for my greetings. I ignore her as much as possible so she doesn't linger and step on all the stuff. There's so many podcasts out there. If you're checking out mine, thank you so much. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're checking me out for the first time, welcome. I have a lot of whips to show you guys, only one finished object, and a ton of wool piggery. So I'm going to get started. I can be found on most social media as Yarn Junkie. On Ravelry, I am Yarn Junkie with the number 6. On Instagram, _Yarn Junkie. And there is a Yarn Junkie podcast group, which I just had a subscriber giveaway in my podcast group. The prompt was to tell me your top 5 favorite movies, which, again, why was that my prompt? It was a really hard prompt for me to... I immediately wrote 5 movies and then went over those choices again and again and again and thought, oh, I would have listed this movie. And I read all of your responses and I totally loved them. I agree with the Harry Potter movies, Lord of the Rings movies, the Hunger Games movies. I didn't list those because to me those are books. I've read all of those and loved them, and I've obviously watched all the movies and have those in my collection as well. They would be on my list, my Desert Island list too. They're without a doubt. And I should have done categories like musicals, books to movies, Christmas movies. There just should have been categories on favorite movies because there's too many movies to pick 5. Hello? And I actually put the question to my husband as well because I was curious to hear his responses. And he really surprised me. A couple of his choices. The movie with Sandra Bullock where she adopts that football player guy and, he has a life-changing experience. I think it's based on a true story. I can't think of the name of the movie. But he was like, that's got to be in there because that's a feel-good movie. He said a couple of others, and then when I had said Talladega Nights and Tropic Thunder, he just lost his mind and he was like, why didn't I think of those? Because those are 2 of his favorite movies. So again, back to the winner of this. I had it open for longer than I said I would. I think it was very loose. It was just a giveaway. I had a couple of donors donate. Amazing prize package. You can go and see a picture of all the goodies if you want. And I will announce the winner now. Drum roll, please. That's an awful drum roll. The winner is post number 49, which was Cottonton Autumn from the U.S. I can't remember if there was a city or state listed. And I should have written down what her 5 favorite movies were so I could tell you guys. It was post 49 if you want to go read that. Cottonton Autumn. I will message you to get your address, so if you could just reply to that, I will ship this out to you. And congratulations. I did see that it was your birthday last month, October 10th, so happy belated birthday. Today is November... right after the election, November 10th. So if you voted, I voted, not for who was elected, just saying, not for her either, if you're curious. This is not a political podcast. We'll move along. I am hosting a Knitalong right now, and I'm the world's worst hostess and co-hostess. I'm co-hosting the Knitalong with Milk Shed Blog, who has not had a podcast in a while. I miss you, Stephanie, if you're watching. But she's got a lot of life stuff going on right now, so it's understandable that she's been kind of absent. But yeah, I haven't worked on my doodler at all. I did frog what I knit. I explained that I think I accidentally grabbed a size 6 instead of the pattern requested of 4. And even after learning that I'm a tight knitter, I think it was still way too gappy, so I frogged it, and it's sitting, waiting to be cast on again. I really still want to knit it. I love my yarn choices. Not enough hours in the day, y'all. But I was hosting that, and it was supposed to be going on through the end of November, so who knows if I'll pick it up again. I am also, this is kind of what got in my way of working on my doodler. My local yarn shop, which is West 7th Wool, small tangent, Eric from Sticks Plus Twine was in my local yarn store this weekend. I was not there, but I saw pictures at my yarn store, West 7th Wool in Fort Worth. Amy, the proprietor of the yarn shop, posted some pictures, and Eric posted some pictures, and I was like having a little mini fangirl moment about Eric from Sticks Plus freaking Twine in my local yarn shop. That was just too cool. And now Amy is going to be a stockist for his magazine that he is co-editing with. I'm not sure, like, his level of involvement. His magazine? How does that work? The magazine Rib. I'm sure you've heard of it. My yarn shop's going to be carrying it, so now I don't have to worry about getting a subscription. I can just pick it up anytime I want in the store, which is terrific. So this cow, my yarn store was doing a knit-along, and I have to join, and it's a lot more fun to do a knit-along where you're seeing people's progress in person, and this was no exception. I really enjoyed knitting this with so many of my friends from Knit Night and seeing their progress and being able to share stories and stuff like that. I had a couple of people ask me, since I'm through my brioche section now, yay, what to do if I dropped a stitch. Now let me see if I can find it. So I did drop a stitch. Can't even see where it's at, unless you're really paying attention. And then I just sort of picked it up and did my best. Now you could probably see that since I pointed it out, but otherwise it's really, you cannot see it from this angle, and people are not going to be taking a microscope to your knitting. I am not one to be in the game for perfection. It's okay if things get a bit wonky. Some things I will rip out, and some things it does bother me, but other things I'm like, you know what? Let it go. It's fine. This, I still love the colors. I loved knitting the brioche, but now that I'm back to the garter, I have no desire to knit this anymore. It's been sitting in a bag for a couple of days. Yeah, so I think I have, it's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to give any more away. Roger was outside. He just scared me by jumping on the door to be let in. So I think I have like 6 more of the garter repeats to do, and they're so many rows long. A lot, you guys. I have a lot to go. And it's going to be sitting in a bag because I'm trying to do the little bit of knitting, holiday and gift knitting that I'm doing. I'm trying to get that done. So this will probably be just mindless take-along knitting when I need something that's not a vanilla sock. Because that is, the whole garter portion is completely mindless at this point. And once I got into the groove of the brioche, it was terrific. I really enjoyed doing it. I did size down my needle. Roger's having a freak out. I'm going to let him in just a second. On the brioche, I sized down my needle to a 2.5, and I knit this in a 4, but I was noticing how tight my gauge is. So when I pick this up, I switched to a 5. And I don't mind it's a shawl, so I don't mind the gauge being a little bit different on both sides, and this part will be wrapped around my neck more, so it's good that it's denser, and then that part I want to kind of lay out nicely, so it's good that it's looser, I think. I really love this. Okay, showing you guys has made me kind of want to work on it again. And I do have a story about the tooth bag, but let me let the dang dog in right quick. I'm not even going to stop it. I'm just going to run over here. Come here, Reggie. Come say hi. You made me get up, so the least you can do is come say hi. Come here. He's in my Roger boy. No, come. Come. He stinks like he's been outside. So here's Roger. Sit down. Sit down. He's one of my 3 dogs. He's not so much my dog anymore, but he is definitely Atrella's dog. This dog loves Atrella, my almost 11-year-old. He goes everywhere with her and then sleeps with her and just loves her. I told you all about my FOs and then I got right into whips. But let me tell y'all a little story about this bag right quick. I'm getting my yarn untangled. So this bag came from Lara. I always say Laura, mess up her name. I'm sorry. Lara from The Fawn and the Fox, the Fawn Knits podcast. So this was one of her pre-orders for her Halloween fabrics of 2016. You see it's a little tooth, a broken tooth because of all the candy it eats. Guilty, guilty, so guilty. So I have a horror story to tell you. The day after Halloween, I was eating some Milk Duds, and I have a temporary crown because I go to the dentist too many times to even count at this point. I have a temporary crown, and it just like came out while I was eating candy, and it was really, really awful. And it happened Tuesday night. I woke up Wednesday, called the dentist to go in, and he said, well, you have an appointment tomorrow, so do you just want to come in tomorrow to get your permanent crown in instead of coming in today to get the temporary reset? I said, absolutely. I don't want to have to go to the dentist twice. It's a 2-hour drive in case you're just now joining. So he said that I could just go and get some dental or denture glue from the pharmacy to glue it back in myself in the meantime. So I drive to the pharmacy, which is over half an hour away. I live very rural, in case this is your first time joining me. I go and get this stuff, come home, and try to glue my tooth back in my mouth. It was the worst experience. I am completely put off candy at this point. I don't think that I will eat another piece of candy for the rest of my life, which is great for my teeth because I am very cavity prone, and even I take care of my teeth, people. I'm a flosser, I'm a rinser. I carry those like little flossers around with me. Let me see if I have one. I'm sure I do in one of these bags. Okay, this is how insane I am about my teeth. These are in my project bags, okay? I am a dental enthusiast. Why I have so many cavities, I do not know. My dentist insists it's hereditary, and I'm just like, it's the worst. But yeah, so candy tragedy, Halloween 2016, Amber gives up candy for life. Chocolate pastries and cakes and things like that. I'm no fool, y'all, and I still really like chocolate, so I'll just brush my teeth really good twice. I'll brush my teeth twice if I eat chocolate. I did say that I had FOs, and I blazed right past them, so let me jump back right quick. I showed this as a whip, and this is really a really sad FO, but I feel like I should show it that way when I make progress in the future. I can look back on this and smile and know that my progress was abundant. So this is Prudence's very simple, very ratchet skirt that I sewed. So I had a couple of panels of pink fabric that I stitched together, and then just did a simple skirt with a very crooked hemline, a very crooked casing with elastic, but she loves it. And this was kind of part of her birthday present. A mama made skirt. I was gonna add pockets to it, but I'm not gonna mess up this thing any more than it already is. I give up on it. And then two older FOs that I wanted to show you guys was this sweater, which was a birthday present of months past. Okay, so November's our birthday month. My girls and myself all have birthdays in November. Prudence's is the 17th, which was also my maternal grandmother's. Atrella's is the 29th, and Atrella was my maternal grandmother's name. And then mine is the 30th. So all November, Tim and I were very busy on Valentine's Day of, those years. But so this was a present for Prudence when she was either 2 or 3. I want to say she was probably 3 on her 3rd birthday. And it's just this fox cardigan that I made. This was all Joann's yarn. So this fuzzy white yarn is their Angel Hair brand. It's not Angel, it says Angel Hair on the label somewhere. I don't have it anymore. I mean, this was years ago. And then the orange is Vanna Choice. It's like an orange variegated, orange kind of tonal. There's nature on it. So I did the cardigan from a pattern that I had. It was just like a crocheted cardigan And then used some buttons that I also got at Joann's. They're leaves, love them. The pocket came unstitched. All I needed to do is refasten it. And Prince wore this for 2.5 years, and she loved it. She put it on the other day, and it still fits her, but she said it's itchy, which it's not the nicest yarn. But the hood I just sort of made up. I looked at a few crocheted pattern hoods, and I couldn't find any that I liked, and so it looks really adorable on her head. I have pictures on my Ravelry project page if you're curious, but it kind of looks wonky with me trying to hold it. So it was really, really adorable. It has a little nose that kind of hangs over her face. I really love the way this looked on her. So, and it didn't take me that long. Crocheting works up so quickly, and I really enjoyed working on this when I worked on it. So I have a funny tragedy about this sweater. Like I said, Prudence was really young when I was making this, and I think I'd went outside to take the dogs for a walk or something, and I had this on the table, on my dining room table. It's a bar-sized table, but she's been able to climb up into the chairs like since she was 18 months old. And I had this laid out with my scissors, like you do when you're working on a project, and my little baby came over to the table. I say baby, she was like 2, 3 years old, and cut the end of the sleeve, like. And it was just, I was able to salvage it and kind of pick up the stitches a little and sew it together, but there was a little hole cut out right here. I think I took about 20 deep breaths and walked away, and Tim asked what happened. My face, is just 50 shades of red and white all at the same time because my blood is both boiling, and I don't know. It was an intense moment for me to have all my work snipped away like that. And so I walked away, and I came back, and obviously I was able to fix it, and it's a funny story now, but at the time I was pretty upset. I was pretty upset with my little darling daughter. So another older FO that I have is this crocheted hat. I actually made this year, and it is a mashup of 2 free patterns that can be found on Ravelry. I don't exactly remember their names. You could probably find them on my project page too, with a picture of this hat. So it's the diagonal spiral hat. Maybe it's a spiral crochet hat. I'm not sure. And then the peak hat is the brim. I really love the abalone shell buttons that I used. The yarn is Madmintosh. I do not remember the colorway. It might be listed on my pattern project page, but I doubt it. So I love this hat. My husband loves this hat. It's not the warmest hat, but for Texas, it is made with a DK weight yarn, and for Texas, it's great for a fall day. I love to have my ears covered. If it's below 70 degrees, I want a hat on because my ears are just so sensitive to the wind and cold, and I just really like to have my ears covered. So I'm going to stop it right here and reorganize and make some more coffee because mine's cold, and I'll be right back. So I have another whip that is kind of going with Prudence's birthday, if I get done. It might be a Christmas present. I did knit her some socks, so she does have something hand knit for her birthday. But this is the Little Honey pattern by Amy Miller, and I'm actually knitting this with Spicy Homemaker and Mina Phillips. They're having a wee little cow to knit anything for like a child or a baby. So that just happened to coincide nicely. But I am on to the sleeve, as you can see. I knit all the body. The last time I showed you guys this, I was actually at the donut. So I've made quite a bit of progress. The other day I wasn't too keen to work on this, but I wanted to make progress on it. So I put this little Jingle Bell progress keeper on it because it's one of my favorites. And I made all of that progress. I did insert waste yarn for the pocket placement. There are 2 cute little pockets on it. And they will have gray ribbing And then the interior of the pockets, I've actually decided to use this purple color. And this was a gift from my friend Robin in a swap that we did last Christmas. I've knit I crocheted a little berry purse from this, and then I thought it would be fun to do purple pockets. So this is Wool of the Republic, Republic of Wool, in colorway Goth Girl. It's their sock yarn. So it's just this really nice variegated purple yarn. And there's these little purple flecks all throughout this Hedgehog Fibers yarn in colorway Pinky Swear. I really like the flecks of gold. You can see it better in the project, I suppose. Flecks of gold all throughout on the back, the orangey. Prudence said it was perfect for fall. I do kind of wish I would have used a darker gray. The gray I used is Manos del Yor gray. I'm totally butchering how to say that, but I have the tag. Getting so much better about keeping tags and writing notes and weighing yarn. Allegria and colorway Foil. That's the gray I used. And I do have another ball of the gray, or another skein. But I wish it would have been kind of a darker gray. I used the gray Prudence said and the pink that Prudence said. I'm surprised she didn't ask for a purple sweater, since purple is her favorite color. But she loves the idea of purple pockets. And last time I mentioned I was having trouble carrying my yarn. And I'll show you what I mean. So, and I even went to Knit Night and they advised me another way to do it. I did it that way and still it just wasn't. So if you can see, yeah, you can. So while she's wearing it, I feel like it's just gonna pull out, or when I wash it and block it, that's just not ideal. And I carried my yarns different ways and tried to twist it and slip it and do all kinds of different tricks, but I still ended up with little gaps. So what I did in the end was, when I cut my yarns, I just left a long tail, and I'm going to take a darning needle and just sew up that line. I don't know what else to do. If you have another tip or trick that you think I might not have utilized, I'd love to hear it. And I still use the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off on the bottom. I'm not terribly happy with it. I do wish I would have sized down a couple of different needles. It said to use a 5 for the body. I ended up using a 4 because I like that gauge better, and to size down to a 3. So I probably should have done a 2 on the ribbing. It is a little loose for my liking. But that, I just feel like it will fit Prudence longer and nicer. I did knit it a little bit longer than the pattern suggested, and it is going to have a little bit of positive ease on her, which is nice because I feel like it's going to fit for a couple of years. And it's really washed out right now, but that's better. I don't know, that's pretty saturated. Maybe it will correct. I really love it. It's been enjoyable to knit. It was very easy. I'm excited to cast on the next one. I'm going to do another one this one's for my almost 6-year-old, and I'm going to do another one for my nearly 11-year-old. And hers is going to be a darker gray and a blue variegated color. I showed that a couple other times, so I won't do it yet until I'm knitting it, because I show a lot of yarn that I'm not knitting. What else have I been working on? Here's something that I've been working on, paired with a tale of woe. Do you see what's happened? So my knitting needle has poked through my bag because I was not using needle cozies on this project. That's sad, guys. Protect your bags, use a needle cozy. That's what they're for. This is my sock blank that I've been knitting from Hey Holly Ho Hum. She has a Store Envy account, and this sock blank is Smog's Lair, a Hobbit reference for you Tolkien fans. So here's my sock. I think I might have been where the stitch marker was last time. Also from Hey Holly Ho Hum. It's like a little scarab beetle. And I am ready to put my heel in. I'm knitting this sock for myself. I was inspired to buy this sock blank by Candace of the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast. She also knit this. This has been so much fun to knit. I've mentioned this before, but like undoing this and knitting it is so satisfying. I took this to knit night and they were pretty impressed. I was really surprised how many of them did not know what a sock blank is. I assume if you're watching podcasts, you know who Andy of Andre Sue Knits is, and you know that she does incredible things that are behind me. She did both of those sock blanks. So I assume that most people who watch podcasts know what a sock blank is, but if you don't, it is a piece of knitted fabric, generally machine knitted, I believe. I don't think anybody hand knits them, but I could be wrong. So it's a piece of machine knitted fabric that a yarn dyer dyes. So it's basically a skein of yarn knit and then dyed. And then you just unknit it to make whatever you will, whether it's a sock, because they are called sock blanks, but you could make a shawl, you could make a sweater, you could do anything you wanted with your sock blank. It doesn't have to be a sock, but you know how much I love socks. And Candace knit these, as I mentioned. I was totally inspired by her and have been hoarding this sock blank for a bit and finally decided I needed to knit it. And I've been using my Knit Pro Zings that were sent to me by Celia. Thank you so much. I love these needles. So this little part, the join, sometimes I do, because I knit so tightly, I do have to stop and get my last 2 stitches over that hump. But for the most part, they're so smooth, they glide with ease, and the tips are nice and sharp, but they're not jabby, with the exception of jabbing through my beloved Harry Potter project bag. But yeah, so I hope to get this pair finished by Thanksgiving, because I kind of want the needles in the project bag for another cast on. I will tell y'all about that in chatter, but we'll talk about this project bag right quick. I got this for Trella last year. I knit her a pair of socks, which I'm about to show you. That pair right there, the Gryffindor Harry Potter socks. And it's from Happy Stitcher Designs, and it's got freaking jelly beans on the inside. I love this bag. So, and I have one of my stitch markers from Candace on here, since Candace inspired me to knit this sock blank. And I made this one for Trella, the little frog, like the chocolate frog. Loving this, really want to finish it, hope to finish it very soon. If not, then it might just go on a spare set of needles so I can borrow it for a minute. And again, I'll tell you why in a sec. What else do I want to show you guys? So yeah, I need to get a needle cozy for this project so I don't keep jabbing holes in my bag. That's sad. My 2 at a time socks. How's that going, you ask? It's not. So it's still in my awesome Studio in the Green bag that's divided in the center. And I'm still doing 2 at a time. It's just in tandem at this point. So I took them off the one circular needle and I put them on 2 separate needles. And I've just been sort of do a little on this, do a little on this, do a little on this, do a little on this. And I love this yarn. It is mustache yarn in the colorway Koi Pond. It's her perfect sock self-striping OCD, so it's going to be 2 perfectly matched socks. And it's gradient, so I'm doing like orange, blue to orange. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. So these need to be done by the end of the month. These are Trella's birthday socks. And I don't think it will be a problem. I'm already pretty far along on them. I think I have 2 more of the repeats before I can do the heel. And then once I'm past the heel, it's going to be no problem to get them done. I do like doing this tandem 2 at a time, so I might start caking up all my balls just to be able to do that, because that's convenient. But whether I like short circulars, like the 9-inch, or magic loop better is still yet to be decided. I've been trying to do a few different projects on both sets of needles. so I can really decide which one's quicker. I really want to time myself. I might do that this week. Time myself on each set of sock needles to see which one's actually quicker. Because we all know that's the true agenda. Knit all the socks. What else do I have? Guys, so much. I have so many new cast-ons. So I'm going to turn the page on my notes. Make sure I covered everything. So Sarah of Love Sock Wool is hosting the 12 Socks of Christmas Cal, like she does. And I need to mention Eric again. Do y'all notice that my stash is just a wee bit different? So I've been working on organizing my stash. He did a stash organization day a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't do it on the day he did it because I was at work, but then a few days after that I did. And I've been re-skeining yarn that I don't plan to use, and having projects lined up that I do plan to use. That blue right there is going to be Tim's Christmas socks. That's Christmas sock number 1. Not technically, this is number 1 because I've already cast this one on. In my skiing bag that I got last year, this is from Lip Syncing Ladybug. I don't think she has a tag. I had a card for her. Maybe I can find it later. This is from Lip Syncing Ladybug. And the bag is. I bought it last year because we went skiing in the mountains in New Mexico, and we're going back this year. I'm so excited. Look at the little skier. And the Christmas trees, and the cabins. So yes, it is November 10th. Yes, this is a Christmas sock. I have called myself the Grinch, self-proclaimed Grinch on more than one occasion. And I'm determined to change that. I mean, like, I have a reason to be a Grinch. I never really enjoyed Christmas. I've had a lot of people pass away near the holidays or on the holidays. My mom also, if you're just now joining me, she passed away last December, right after my birthday, and it was just so hard. Like, my husband, that's kind of why we go to New Mexico now. Last year, it was our first trip, and he's just decided that traveling during the holidays makes me a happier, brighter person. And I don't want my kids to remember me as this, like, awful person who hated Christmas. And so far, I have a pretty melancholy attitude about Christmas. I'm very, like, do not sing Christmas songs unless it is December. I don't want my kids to think that I hate Christmas. And so I'm determined to change that. I am determined to embrace the holiday. My mom loved Christmas. She always, like, the day after Thanksgiving, she would always put the tree up and just make the house so pretty. And her excuse was like, oh, well, I want the tree to be up for your birthday so your presents can be under it and look so nice. And again, like, I always hated Christmas, so my attitude was like, well, my sister who was born in May, my brother who was born in February don't get a Christmas tree for their presents. But again, my mom loved Christmas. I've been missing her like crazy lately, of course. If you have lost your mom or someone close to you, I'm sure you understand. The holidays can be especially hard, but this is the first year, not the first year without her, because last year was the first year, but it's just been a year. So it's just still fresh. It's still, like, little things won't bother me. Like, I have a picture of her. This has gone off on a tangent, I'm sorry. I have a picture of her in the kitchen with, like, her reading glasses, and I used to not look at that picture without tears welling up in my eyes. And now I can just look at that picture and smile and think about, like, what a crazy person my mom was and not cry. But the other day on the way to the dentist, and again, I know my anxiety was heightened because I was in pain, but a song comes on the radio and I start bawling like a baby because it's so hard. Like, I miss my mom so much. So the other day, I was determined to just love Christmas. And so I cast on my first Christmas sock way in advance. And I think that even though we will not be here for Christmas, we'll be in New Mexico for actual Christmas Day and our celebrations. I think me and the girls might still decorate the house before Thanksgiving. My girls love to decorate for Christmas, and I know it would just make them really happy. and make my mom happy, honestly, to see me embracing the holiday with my kids. I'm so excited to do holiday baking. So I did. I cast on my, all of that to say, I cast on my first holiday Christmas sock. This one's going to be for me. I bought this yarn last year because of Sarah from Love Sock Wool. She's such an enabler. I bought so much yarn because of her. This is Post yarn from the Simple Sock Company, the one she orders from all the time. And the colorway is Jollyville, Texas. You guys know how much I love my state and anything with Texas in the name. But can we get over those stripes? I just keep on wanting to knit another stripe, another stripe, another stripe. I love the thick, fat stripes, but I really love thin stripes too because I feel like it goes so quick. I just cast these on the night before last. So I cast them on the night before last and probably knit all of that yesterday. I was just loving this sock so much, and this yarn is so much fun. When I first worked with it last year, it's this Post yarn. It is the same company that made this particular Gryffindor colorway. I didn't really like it because it is kind of a thinner yarn with a lighter twist. I'll show you guys what I mean. So if you have needles that kind of split yarn, this yarn might kind of annoy you. See, it's just a very light twist. And it has a kind of rustic feel. It's a Corriedale wool, a 75% Corriedale, 25% nylon, 393 yards. And so it's just got a more rustic feel, but it has washed up so nicely. And if anything isn't cashmere, I'm kind of abusive with it. And my socks go in the washing machine and dryer on the regular cycle with everything else that's getting washed. Look how well this sock's held up, guys. So it doesn't fit on this blocker because these are Trellis socks, and this is my sock blocker that my mama got me last year. Like, I know this is going to make me sound like so immature, but my mom was like the one person that made my birthday special. That, like, I felt like gave a crap about my birthday. And I know that I'm 32 and it's time for me to not care about my birthday, but I'm just going to miss her so much. So I did the Hermione's Everyday stitch pattern, which a lot of people were rolling their eyes about me at night knitting a stitch pattern and self-striping yarn. I don't care. I felt like it was more authentic to have a house self-striping sock yarn in the Hermione pattern. So I really enjoyed knitting these, and I only got one done for Atrella's birthday, so I crocheted her a dobby, if you remember. I put it all in this bag. I should have grabbed the dobby. I crocheted her a dobby and wrote a note that said, "Dobby's a free elf. You'll get your sock in another month." You can see all that again on my Ravelry project page for this sock, but that was a lot of fun to do that for her last year. And this year, so since I'm already on a tangent, we are taking her, she'll be 11. And if you are not a Harry Potter fan, I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to bear with me for a minute. So she's going to be 11, and we are taking her to, if you follow me on Instagram, you know this, but we're going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando. It will be her first plane trip, and she told me a couple months ago all she really wanted was a letter from Hogwarts. Like, she was like, "And you can even make one, Mom. You're so crafty." I got one on Etsy, okay, because Mom's not that crafty, in that way anyway, not paper crafty. So I got one on Etsy. It's going to come in the mail. We bought plane tickets and hotel reservations and park tickets, and we're leaving the day after Thanksgiving, and we will be there for a few days, and then we actually fly out the day of her birthday. But yeah, we'll be at the park the day before and the day before her birthday. And we're going to go see Blue Man Group while we're there. Oh my God! Guys, I'm so freaking excited. Sorry if the screen bothered you, your headphones people. So that is my Christmas cast on, and I'll stop it right here and be right back. Okay, so I wasn't going to show you guys these, but I guess I am, because I hope to kind of have, I don't think I'll record again, because we have so much going on with the Florida trip, and Prudence's birthday is in a week, and we'll probably do something for that. we just have a lot going on. So I want to show you these quickly. I have been working on trying to knit a hat from this yarn for over a year. It's been a couple of different things. This is the antler hat, but it's not, because then rereading the pattern, I realized that, did you hear that? That's my husband's email alert notice. That's a Pulp Fiction reference for those of you that listed Pulp Fiction as your favorite movie. This hat's wrong. I'm missing some stitches. It's a free pattern, so it says, I don't feel bad for telling you, but there's like some pearls in there that I'm missing. There's the picture. Guys, I don't have any pearls in my hat. What happened? What'd I do? I gotta redo this. I don't know what happened. So, another hat that I've cast on, another free pattern, and I'm not sure how well this one is going either. This pattern is the elephant hat. There's a chart for it. It's a colorwork hat, or fair isle hat. What's the difference? Fair isle, colorwork. 2 colors? More than 2 colors? I'm not sure. I'm doing 2 colors. The pattern technically asks for 3, but I'm just using 2. And that's where I am at so far. I've just started the feet of the elephant. I am right there. I don't know that I'm going to do the elephants up here. I might just do that portion. I'm not sure yet. But the girls need skiing hats. I thought maybe I could get these done quickly and tuck them in as birthday presents as well. My floats are going well on this, I think. I keep stretching it out and making sure, I hope. The next hat that I'm going to show you, I actually started a year ago, and my floats were awful, so I had to rip it out and restart. But the yarns I'm using are Madeline Tosh. Again, guys, I kind of like purple and that color green. Madeline Tosh Vintage in colorway Sweetheart is the purplish pink color. Oh, this is 80-10-10 worsted. I didn't realize that. Cashmere, guys, cashmere. And the green one doesn't have a ball band, so I can't tell you what color it is. Sorry. But I love that. I love those. I bought that yarn a year ago to knit that hat, and it's just been sitting in a project bag. So this hat, I don't have a picture for. It's by Nicole Clark of the Q Loco podcast. It's the slouchy snowflake hat. I wonder if she's had her baby yet. I haven't peeked at her Instagram. Hi, Nicole. I don't know if you watch my podcast, but if you do, hi, and congratulations on your little baby. So I started this hat a year ago and had to frog it. I got the snowflake chart done, and it wouldn't go on a trellis head. This is a hat for her. She chose this blue yarn. It is Malabrigo. They're worsted. Rios, I think, in colorway Azul, I believe, which is blue. It's a little bit darker than what it's showing up. That might autocorrect, I'm not sure. It's a beautiful blue color, though. I really enjoy this. I enjoyed knitting it the first time. I'm enjoying knitting it the second time. I really like my little bell stitch marker or progress keeper, and my star stitch markers that's on here. My snowflake, I'm doing this a little bit different. So the pattern has you cast on for one color in the brim and then do another color for the main body of the hat, and then the snowflakes be this brim color, but I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing the main bulk of the hat in the blue, and then just the snowflakes in this, not really white, it is an off-white. It is Madeline Tosh in colorway Antler. I don't know if this is the cashmere. I want to say it is because it's got a really nice halo, or if this is the Tosh Vintage. It feels like cashmere. So those are my kids' hats for skiing in New Mexico. I kind of hope to have them done by their birthday. Prudence's birthday is next week. I don't know if I'm going to focus on getting the sweater knit for her or the hat knit for her, but one of those will be complete by her birthday. And I'm just loving this sock. I think all the other socks are languishing because I just keep on casting on new ones. So I do have some wool piggery. let me see what I should start with. Let me look at my notes. Showed you all my hats. So I did a swap with Diary of a Yarn Snob. Julie hosted a fall swap. And I really, really love what my partner sent me. The coffee that I'm drinking came from my partner. And it is so good that this was a whole bag when I got it. I think I got it Monday. It was a whole bag of coffee. And can I just tell you how much I love you for sending me a whole bag of coffee? I get a lot of tea and I drink tea occasionally, but I'm not the biggest tea drinker. I love coffee. And she sent me snickerdoodle coffee. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of different flavors. I love vanilla and I love hazelnut, but I'm I like the same things all the time. I'm not a very adventurous person when it comes to my diet choices. Like, I go to the same restaurants. I order the same thing every single time. It gets on my husband's last nerve. Like, he's like, get something different. Like, oh, don't you want this coffee? Not because he'll drink it, just because he wants me to be adventurous and just change it up a little bit. Which, anytime I do, I am always a little bit disappointed because it's not as good as what I would have originally got. And why can't I just get what I like and stick with what I like? So I was a little hesitant to try the snickerdoodle coffee. I love snickerdoodles, but in my coffee, it's almost gone because I can't stop drinking it. It is so, so, so good. Thank you so much, Sam, for sending that. That is so delicious. And it was wrapped. Everything was wrapped. So another part of swaps. I love doing swaps. I've had a couple of people ask me to do some lately, and I kind of told them I need to put it off until after the holidays because, again, we have the Florida trip planned, we have the New Mexico trip planned, we just have a lot going on, and swaps take a lot out of you. And then you're kind of anxious, like, oh, did the person like the stuff that I sent as much as I like the stuff that they sent? Did I send enough? Did I send too much? Like, you don't want someone to feel badly about you not sending enough or sending too much stuff, and vice versa. And so her package was so beautiful, and mine was just kind of schlepped together. I didn't even label my minis. I'm the worsted. I'm sorry, Sam. But the coffee was wrapped in this cute fabric that Atrella really liked, so I think I'm going to give it to her for something to do with. And everything else was wrapped in nice brown paper with these gorgeous teal ribbons that Atrella asked if she could have the ribbons for her crafting, so thank you. She sent this really cool bag that she said she made, and she plans to open an Etsy shop. So her tag, Stitch Happy Studio. I love the woodsy print on the inside. I love all of these different trees. I love how this bag goes through all the seasons, and it's camping. You guys know I love camping. And what's so funny is Dag from Paper Dag on Instagram, and she has the Zia Wools shop on Etsy. Dag has created a new hashtag if you're interested in. So I just mentioned kind of off the cuff that I had some people unfollow me after spamming everybody with my Instagram camping pictures. And it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I spam a lot of pictures, so like if someone wants to unfollow me because I don't post knitting pictures all the time, that's fine. But so she just thought it was kind of weird that someone would do that and created a hashtag, Knitters Do It All. So she's like, when she goes running, she'll tag Knitters Do It All, because knitters are not just knitters. We are bakers, we are runners, we are hikers, we are bikers, we are more than knitters. So in my intro today, this week, I included a clip from hiking. Hope you enjoyed that. And thank you so much, Dag, for that. That hashtag just made me smile and chuckle. And I meant no like animosity when I was like, people unfollow me. That's your prerogative. I unfollow people all the time when I'm like, oh, you know what? Your feed just doesn't really do it for me. We can't all get along, guys. We're not always going to agree on everything. That's okay. That's what makes the people that you jive with so much greater. It's like, wow, like you really get me. That's so cool. I digress. The bag is awesome. I love camping. I just got a new pack for camping. We went to REI last week, and yeah, I got a new camping pack. But so Sam also sent me so many wonderful goodies inside this bag that also has a pocket, I should point out, because I know how you people love pockets. I love pockets. We all love pockets. I immediately, when I saw these minis, I spotted, she sent minis, like you do, a whole little bag full of minis that are labeled. I don't always label mine. So I pulled out these two instantly. I knew what this one was when I saw it, and it is Octopus Garden by Vine. I've been dying for a skein of this to knit Prudence a pair of socks. Prudence is named after the Beatles song, Dear Prudence, and Octopus Garden is also a Beatles song, if you didn't know that. I don't think anybody in the world doesn't know that. And then this, I just thought this was so cool. It's a freaking sock blank mini. That's neat. I cannot wait to finish mine so I can send people little scraps of my sock blank. And then when I pulled those two out, this one was like, whee, and it came with it. And I was so excited to have a Legacy Fiber Arts mini, Snazzy Toes, in their Winnie Sanderson colorway. And look at her writing. I just love people's writing. That's my favorite thing about swaps. I think I've said that about a dozen times. I love looking at people's handwriting. So all of those minis, I'm so excited to put them in my collection. My hoard of minis lives in this big box. And then when I pulled this yarn out, I about died because this is something that I would snatch up if I saw it online or in a yarn shop or at a festival. It is Query Fiber, which I have not used before, 75/25 merino nylon, 463 yards, which is quite a bit. Colorway Let's Dress Crazy, which I do. Let me show you my leggings. They're like, they have mushrooms and fairies on them. Yeah, because Let's Dress Crazy, you guys. Yeah, I love this colorway. It's a self-striping yarn. I cannot wait to kick it up and start knitting it. I'm thinking a birthday cast on, to hell with all the other socks. I need more sock needles and more hat needles. I really love this. Thank you so much, Sam. And then the last thing she sent was a Tough Woolens bar in their Autumn Berry colorway. And I had it sitting out next to me on the couch, and I kept sniffing, and I'm like, what's that smell? What's that smell? It was this. It is so strong and so delicious smelling. I have the coffee burps. So that is not all. I also ordered some stuff. That was my swap that I was so overjoyed about. And then the first thing I ordered, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching Jody and Tracy of the Grocery Girls, and Tracy was talking about how you can just never have too many project bags, and you shouldn't feel guilty about buying the things that make you happy. And I saw that as the perfect enabling quote to go check out Jody's shop, and she had some bags. I think she was doing like a pre-order at the time because I waited a little bit for this bag, but it was quite worth the wait. Look at that. It's one of her Knit Stitches bags. I've been wanting one of these since she started sewing them up. I love the colors. This lavender and golden yellow. I just love those big stitches. I love this bag. I love how it's showing up on camera. And it just has this really nice periwinkle interior. And then, of course, there's a candy that I will not eat. It will go along in a swap somewhere because I cannot eat the candy. And this cool card. I really want one of her journals that has those knit stitches on it. Miss Brown, thank you, Jody, for my bag. I love it. I'm so excited to put a project in it. And all my other bags. We won't even go there. The last thing I ordered, is this the last thing that I have to show you guys? I guess so. Oh, a pattern, but. So I went to Stitches. Yep, Stitches, and Jinx Yarn was there. And I really wanted to get this colorway, which is her 2016 Christmas colorway, Naughty or Nice, but she was all sold out, sad face. And so I was stalking her and stalking her and stalking her until I snagged a skein of Naughty or Nice. And I'm so excited. I got it on her Strong Sock base, which is an 80%, 20% merino nylon. And it is I thought it was, when she was knitting it on her podcast and seeing the sample and stuff, I thought it was a black, but it's not. It's super dark green. Naughty or nice, guys. I mean, how perfect is that? 14 rows light to dark red gradient, 14 rows dark to light green gradient. This will be my Christmas Eve cast on. Danny from Little Bobbins always does a Christmas Eve cast on, so I will kick this up and take this to New Mexico with me and cast this on after we go skiing and watch the torchlight ceremony. And I will take my cardinal bag to be its little home. I got this at Stitches from Kitchen Counter Crafters. And this is one of those really cool, I think it's one of those like slap bracelets. Like when you were a kid, you got at the book fair. I love this bag, and it fits a cake really nice. Let me grab one. Oh, look, I have a ball. This is another hat that I want to cast on. I just want to do a simple seed stitch hat with this. Malabrigo Rios in colorway Volcano or something. I just don't have needles, that's why it's not cast on. So it sits really nice with a ball in it, or a cake, whichever you have. It has a nice handle. I don't know why I love that so much. I just do. So that's all, guys. I had that, though. That was not an acquisition. It's just in there for that. I told you about my candy tragedy. We did go hiking. We haven't been camping again, but we planned to go. It was just really, really, really awful weather, and I did not want to go camping when it was freezing and rainy outside. I'm not that adventurous. What else? Birthday plans, I talked about those. We're going. I think we might, for Prudence's birthday, take her to go get her ears pierced. She'll be 6, and she's been wanting to get them done. So I think we'll do that. And then, yeah, the day after Thanksgiving, we'll be in Florida. So I plan to video a lot, so I can do like a little compilation of our trip. More for us to look back on over the years, but I am sure I will share it so you guys can see if you're interested in Atrella's 11th birthday surprise. So I'll do like a little shot of the whole thing, of her finding out, of us arriving, of us checking out the park, and it's just gonna be so much fun. If you do know of a yarn store, it is my birthday too, after all. It is my birthday too. So if you know of a yarn store that's very near to Orlando area, I don't think we're gonna rent a car. We're not gonna be there for that long. I think 5 days or something. So maybe like public transport or Uber, or I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if something's close by and I can feasibly go get some souvenir yarn, because that would be a bonus, but not a necessity. I was going to say, I'm definitely taking my Harry Potter project bag in my Nomadic Yarns in colorway Lupin. So this is my only Harry Potter themed yarn at the moment. So I'm thinking a cast on must happen for my travels. This will be my plain knitting and my like line waiting at Hogwarts knitting, my Lupin colorway. And it does have a little Deathly Hallows Progress Keeper. And I have another one that's a stitch marker and a little snitch that will probably come with me too. So that's why I have to finish those dragon socks, so I can cast on these. At least one of them. Some other things. I did get 2 other things. You can't really see it, but right there, I got one of those hangy, downy, organized needle things. Mostly because of the one that I saw on, I think I ordered the same one as her. Bad Girl Wolf Knits. What is her name? I'm the worst. She ordered this needle hangy downy organizer thing, and I just had to have one, so I went on Amazon and it was like $20. So then I also got a proper Swift from Chowgoo, and it was like $35. I had to have it. It's an Amish Swift, and I have been re-skeining yarn that I didn't plan to knit, and then as soon as I re-skeined this yarn, I thought, I will really want to knit that, so I might kick it back up. I just thought that turquoise, again guys, all of the sock whips must be cast on, because this turquoise would be perfect to take with us to New Mexico. I thought that was New Mexico yarn. Don't you feel like that's New Mexico yarn? Pretty sure it is. Maybe I should cast on the yarn that I actually got in New Mexico last year instead of just leaving it sitting up there in the stash forever. I know I'm rambling, totally rambling. If I do not see you for the rest of the month of November, I hope that you have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a nice time with your family and get lots of turkey. Thanksgiving is by far my favorite holiday. I love all the Thanksgiving foods. And yeah, I will see y'all when we get back from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And I hope that you guys have a great month. See y'all next time.
Ow.
You broke your dance?